Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
But inside is so delightful.
It's Christmas in July.
Let's review.
Let's review.
Let's review.
Looks great.
Season 8.
Bum.
All right. God, enough. I don't even want to dwell on the season 8 of It All Dragon. It's still surreal to me. So Supernatural. This isn't the first time we've talked about this show because, of course, we talked about the Scooby Natural crossover. Dragon, that's it, right? We haven't touched this show besides Scooby Natural.
Nope, just those. I mean, I talked about it on Memoirs when I finished binging it. That's about it. Yeah.
So, Dragon, I only know about the show outside of Scooby Natural. I saw a Sarah Zed video, and let's just say I am all caught up on that Dean Castiel shipping drama, let me tell you. So, that's about all I know. I'm very caught up on the Castiel of it all, Dragon, but other than that, I'm still kind of blind to a lot of stuff going on, including this episode. What the hell? They got the son of Lucifer locked up here, but they're like being all buddy with him, even though he killed their mom. So Dragon, care to explain?
Sure.
Just to get it out there, I did like the episode quite a bit. The Mrs. Butters character is quite delightful. But I assume that's like the big reason we're doing this.
Yes. I mean, that and obviously the famed montage of it all. But yeah. So yes, of course, as I mentioned, I binged Supernatural last year because it was the last season and everything, kind of like how I went into Breaking.
It feels like a show that would be pretty bingeable. I'll be honest.
Yeah. Again, this was
very likable characters.
So as a man who basically binged all of this last year, I'll tell you, it was the last season of Supernatural really came around. Like, it's kind of what you want to happen, especially with a CW show that just keeps on going and going. Supernatural. I want to say even had the WB days because it was.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
pretty sure it made the transition with Smallville as well, or at least like around that kind of. It was at the tail end or midpoint.
I think it kind of showed up like around the later seasons of Smallville. I want to say.
Yeah, it's a point being Supernatural is like the longest running CW show to my knowledge, and that it's gone the whole 15 seasons.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah,
the network change. So amazingly, I mean, even though obviously there are some CW runs in quality, it's the most watchable of all the long non-cancelable CW shows. And thankfully, kind of like Green Arrow, it much better than the Green Arrow overall, but the Arrow show, I'm saying, is like the last season brought around, like the Arrow show did, which is good. Yeah, this is a fun episode. It's in the spirit of the unconventional holiday and then kind of family element of Supernatural for sure. We have our fun and our special episodes, a few holiday episodes, and only technically 2 Christmas. This and the first Christmas episode they ever did, A Very Supernatural Christmas.
I would be down to talk about that next year.
Yeah, and that's all the way in like season 2.
First of all, I like how self-aware that title is.
Yeah, it's a really good one too, and we had our pick here, and Tiki was in love with the Mrs. Butters of it all, just in pitching it, and here we are. So, yeah, this and Super Scooby Natural rank high for me. I really enjoyed this episode. All right, so okay. So here's the background, the condensed everything you need to know. So,
oh God, okay, I'm nervous.
All right, so this again, season 15. Here's what you need to know is with the premise of Supernatural that relates to this episode. So.
I mean, I know the basics of Supernatural. You don't have to recap to me who Sam and Dean are or anything.
No, I know that. What I'm saying, and like I said, the Winchesters, because you got the Winchester family, and the parents, they hunted the supernatural, which led to mom getting killed by a demon, and dad raising the boys on the road, going motel to motel, which was their foray into the family business. That So here's what you need to know. So after season 5, the showrunner, who also showruns The Boys right now, Eric Kripke, great guy. So Eric Kripke, he left the show, and basically Supernatural breaks in increments of 5 in terms of the seasons breakdown. The first 5 seasons, you can go home happy. It's like, okay, it's a kind of a bittersweet end, but this is a very very succinct. Everything kind of gets serviced. 5 seasons. That's what Kripke's vision was. Then you're kind of sitting there for 5 seasons. Then the last 5 seasons, things kind of go up and down in quality, but towards like seasons 14, 15, we're on the upswing. So, and again, like most CW shows, they're spinning their wheels. They have the almost mandated CW BS of, and this is where it relates to things. The mandated CW BS at this juncture, towards the latter half, full-on CW era. Hey, Mary's alive for reasons at like season 13. We brought the mother back for reasons that we never explained.
Oh no!
And then we killed her by accident by way of Jack. Now, the answer.
Oh no! Wait,
yeah.
I thought that Jack was like going to be the one that initially killed her. Oh god!
Oh no! Again, she gets killed in the pilot, Tiki.
Oh man, Jack, what'd you do?
So again, that's just CWBS for you. Okay, we got to revive the film again. It's not as crazy as Arrow.
Yes, that they'd be this buddy with him after that. Like
Tiki, it could be a lot worse. It could be Arrow with all the revivals and killing off characters and rinse and repeat. Thank goodness they did not go that crazy with it. Anyway, so
all right, fair enough.
So here's what you need to know about Jack. So Jack, he's the son of Lucifer, not the really cool Lucifer that's on, that has the Netflix show. Not him, but a second cool Lucifer. This Lucifer was a really great bad guy. This is not like the good guy, kind of like leading man Lucifer. So anyway, so Jack is the key to saving the world from a neurotic.
I gathered that, Dragon. I kind of gathered that throughout the episode.
Well, no, what I'm saying is he's the key to saving the world from a neurotic and vengeful god who's planning to end the universe.
Okay.
So that's pretty much, that's why we're hyping up with the whole Jack. So Jack can save the world was pretty much the big goal. We're fighting God in the last season. That's pretty much what season 15 is. We're fighting God.
That's crazy.
And one thing I want to mention in the background, the writer on this was
God kills Castiel, right?
I believe he did. Yeah. I know he's responsible for it. I'm just trying to remember if he specifically did it. I think he sent someone that I can't remember if he did his own bear kids or not. But yeah, God was a real prick in the end. Anyway, so the writer on this was Jeremy Adams, who did some stuff we really liked. He did Batman: Soul of the Dragon. He did.
Oh, nice.
He did Justice Society World War II, which you liked, and did Scooby Natural, which again is very fitting. Hence the Scooby Natural references.
Yeah, it very much feels like his kind of style. Nice.
Yeah, Jerry Adams is a very solid writer. I can't wait to see more from him if they bring him on more of the DC animated stuff. And the last thing you need to know is that, again, season 15 of Supernatural got broken into 2 parts because of the pandemic.
Also, Dre, I need to know, why are they hanging out in this house?
Oh, yeah, they've been in the bunker since, I'm trying to remember. They've been in the bunker for a long while. I want to say since, don't quote me on the number, possibly season 6 or 10.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. So it's like ongoing.
I think it's more. I know it's definitely been since season 10. I know that's why don't quote me on it. I don't know how, because they kept going from motel to motel, but I'm guessing that got expensive set-wise, so they gave them a stationary base after a while.
Okay, that makes sense. All right.
In the middle somewhere, they gave them the bunker as like their main set. So just don't quote me on how long. Anyway, so yeah, this was. I'm pretty sure they shot this before the pandemic, and then then they had to finish. Like, how the heck are we going to shoot our finale? They kind of had this carryover when they're airing the second half of things. That's how they. And this is probably one of the last ones shot before all that business. All right, so all that said, you're caught up on what you need to know.
All right, so let's go ahead. Let's just jump right into it then.
All right, last holiday. So we're in the bunker, which is what we call it.
After about a minute worth of previously on, that made absolutely zero sense to me.
I know, yeah. Probably
I'm like, what? What is going on? Oh, God.
All you need to know is anyways, it's not important. You don't need to know anything about the recap. It's fine. So,
Billy? Who the hell is Billy?
Billy's death.
Okay. Oh, God. All right. I don't want to know.
I know. Just focus on what's in the episode.
Fair enough.
Just focus on what's there. Okay, so Sam, he's researching the lore, which is what they do. It's how they figure out how to kill the supernatural thing. He's researching the lore, and Dean's doing what Dean does. He's making burgers.
Yeah, so Dean is just like, man, he is so magnetic. I could totally see how he alone would make the show bitch. I mean, Sam's fine. I get the sense that Dean is the fan
He
favorite, though.
is.
Am I
Yeah.
right?
Look, the whole reason I watched the show, Dig, is because of the brothers dynamic. You watch the show for the Winchesters. That's the
Sure,
main
sure.
reason. Even if it gets crazy in the middle, so you love watching these guys together. And it's like I get Jensen Ackles absolutely is my favorite of the two. Nothing against Padalecki, but I mean I love Jensen Ackles. He's so wonderful in this series.
So, so Sam's being like, what's with the apron? Burgers, duh.
So long story short, the bunker's having some issues with its pilot light, which means again we can't really make it's not burger time unfortunately yet, and we're having some issues in the air shuts off and everything. I thought this place was state of the art. Yeah, in the 50s. It's been around since the 50s, man. We're lucky it's run this long. So then we do a little bit of expo. Basically, this is all you need to know. The expo is Jackson's room, contemplating the business. So
Literally have written down in my notes, who the hell is Jack?
Yes, I recall that, Tiki, yes. So basically, Jack's contemplating the big kind of finale business of season 15. That the whole goal was to kill God, who was a bad guy this season, and he got his soul back, which means he's feeling guilty about killing Mary, and he's got a.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I think I missed something. How exactly did he kill Mary? You said it was like an accident of some kind.
It was really bad how they did it, Tiki. It was just the.
So basically, it's an I don't want to know kind of thing.
It was literally like he was getting into an argument with Mary, and he was kind of coming to grips with his powers. We cut away, and I'm going to assume that in a later episode we flash back to show, oh yeah, it was a big burst of power or something. Accidentally.
Oh, okay, all right.
But they shot it very.
That sounds dumb.
It was shot very poorly. It was a bad idea. It was a bad idea. I mean, look, it was fun having the actress back. It was a bad idea to bring her back. I'm sorry, it just was. So. Anyway, again, Tiki, the first 5 seasons, chef's kiss, but beyond that, that's what.
All right.
Anyway, so point being, he's got his soul back, he's feeling guilty, and he has to kill God and God's sister Amara. Just point being, kill 2 omnipotent godlike beings, which is not easy.
I am glad that Amara does not show up in this episode because we have more than enough kind of plates that we're juggling.
I would have to explain a lot of the God business to you because there was a thing with the God. Anyway,
that's what I'm saying, man. I'm glad that we generally speaking keep this to a bottle episode.
That's what I'm saying. I think it very much just plays like, okay, to celebrate holiday. Anyway, so the brothers go to the basement to fix the bunker, and we have this. Tell me if this grabbed you though. Tell me this wasn't like a fun, intriguing line though. Not knowing these events, though, is the whole you really were going to the basement, Sam. We fought the devil. I killed Hitler. We can handle some old pipes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was awesome when he killed Hitler in the show. That was awesome.
Okay, and then we have Dean just riffing on the Mario Brothers. Oh yeah, Mario Brothers. Yeah, could you come here to the most secretive, secure supernatural hideout? Great. Yeah, thanks. Go Luigi.
So they find this 50s a 50s control panel, like you'd see like a nuclear facility or something, like one of those old school 50s panels. So Dean hits the reset button, he figures it's he hits the reset standby button. Basically, it takes it off standby.
Has too many pop-ups. I just turn it off, turn it back on.
Yeah, it's like a computer.
First of all, I agree with Sam. That is terrible advice. Don't do that, kids.
Yep, but seemingly it works.
My friends and I used to call it the Haitian mind swipe from Heroes.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a short-term fix, but it's not going to do your computer any favors in the long run.
Huh.
All right.
I appreciate that reference, but I don't think it's going to. I think the everyman's going to be a bit puzzled.
Oh no, I'm sure it was an in joke for sure. Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, then we have now it's burger time. So Dean's going. He makes his burger. He returns to his room to eat.
Sorry, can someone just do a fan game of the arcade game Burger Time, but with Dean as the character running around making the burgers? Can we just have that happen?
I'd love for that to happen. That'd be awesome.
And instead of the condiments chasing him, it'd be just supernatural characters. Villains.
Oh my god! As now you mentioning, you know what? I played the Flintstones version of that.
Really?
Yeah. I have on Game Boy, the Game Boy version of it. Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty easy game to like adapt into different themes. So
Yeah, yeah,
let's get a supernatural version of that, man. Come on.
I'm down for that. Absolutely, I'll support that. Yeah.
Anyways,
All right. So anyway, so he returns to his room with said burger. I believe it's like a Dean Deluxe or something he calls it.
is that a running thing? I assume.
No, I mean, he's always just the Dean's always eating. Like you saw in Scooby Natural, he loves like Sam. Look at my mouth. He does like the giant oversized sandwich. He's constantly
Like a mix between Fred and Shaggy in that way.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
That's like he loves. He's always constantly eating huge, copious amounts, and he loves making giant sandwiches. So anyway, the point being, is just just Dean's a very soul earth guy.
Oh,
Simple.
speaking of Shaggy.
Yes. So as he walks into his room with the burger, there's a random woman there, just older woman, folding his underthings, which includes some Scooby Doo boxers.
Oh, hello there, dear.
Then we have my favorite runner. Tiki, I love Jed Sackles so much in this show. My favorite like casual runner is every time he says Sam, just with
Sam!
the great with the Texan hoopla, just the chutzpah, just the whole like
kind of
Sam.
Equivalent to Norman.
Exactly. Yes. And like there's a season that ends dramatically and awesomely with like the best delivery of Sam.
Oh, that's cool. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, and it's like the most like, oh, poor Dean. It's like you're feeling so. Anyway, so the point being, the Sam runner always gets me. I love it. All right, so we meet Mrs. Butters, who we have seen her before.
Have we?
Yes, it's a deep pool, but it's a loving pool.
Okay.
Megan Faye is the actress. Now we've seen her as the boarding house kind of den mother from Agent Carter. She's Miriam Fry, the lady who ran like the house.
That is a deep pool, man.
Yeah, it's over 6
wow,
years,
like from the depths.
Yeah, but it's cool though. Yeah, she ran she ran like the singles all girls like boarding house.
Yeah,
from season 1. Yeah, I love that. It's great. So yeah, I think she did a bang up job in this episode. She's really good.
Oh, she's fantastic. Yeah.
All right, so she's like critiquing the bunker. How can you live in this filth? This is how you live in this filth.
He's just like, lady, who the hell are you?
Language. That's it. I'm getting my gun. Just I just love the mundanity. This is one of the great draws of Supernatural. With the mundanity of a hunter's life. Of like, that's it. Getting my gun. Just so casually. So then we loop Sam in. Of course, Sam.
Well, I was sitting here about to dive into my Dean Deluxe, and I look up, and there she is, folding my underthings.
Underthings. That's also like a runner. Wait, Padalecki is always playing like confused Sam. Like underthings. What are you talking about, Dean?
Well, if you would have folded them, I wouldn't have been in there to begin with. Mrs. Butters is just like the ultimate, like noisy, nosy but loving mom, right?
Exactly.
It's like she gets in your business, but you gotta love her.
She's matronly in all the right ways, buddy.
So Sam, he's still trying to get kind of. I'm sorry. Who are you?
Mm-hmm. So Sam is always finessing and asking the right questions per the brothers' dynamic. Dean with the brute force and the ability. Sam like he's the reader. He's asking what the deal with Mrs. Butters is, and basically find out Mrs. Butters is a wood nymph. Why? And of course Dean is like, why aren't you in the woods nymphing? Because that's a young one's game. There's a foreshadow. She's kind of hiding the truth, or she's in denial of the truth here. Is like why isn't she in the woods?
But no. I have much more important things to do. And besides, I live here.
Yes. So we learn that she worked for the Men of Letters. Essentially, those are the guys who have the base. Men of Letters, essentially, is the group of the guys that do all the research that helps the hunters. That's anyway, so the Men of Letters, which Dean and Sam are essentially honorary. I mean, I guess I forget if they actually became inducted, but they're essentially Men of Letters and hunters. So
I took care of the cleaning and the laundry and the cooking.
Yep.
The men of letters thought they were intelligent. They were oblivious to the necessities of life.
The cutest thing.
I love that it's like even when she's critiquing anything, she just does so with a smile on her face.
Absolutely, and the heart of the episode is the fact that they were my boys, my family. They were her boys. Tiki again with the Agent Carter throwback.
The boys. Oh God.
You know what that means? They are right.
Yeah.
They're Butters boys.
Butters boys. Oh God. Oh wow.
Butters boys.
All right.
Okay, the point being, but no, it's a really sweet thing of like, oh, does she really care about these grown men? They were her boys. So anyway, Dean invites her to leave, which is
family. And then Dean's just like, well, that's very progressive. Okay. Well, we don't want any trouble, so you can just leave. Then, well, of course, we have, just a very dramatic beat right at the start. Leave? Somber music plays, says the closed captions.
I lived and worked here since the war. What year do you think it is? 1958. It's just the sad scene of her learning that like all of her boys are.
It's 2020. Shit's going down.
Yeah. Especially for them, they were literally in the thick of it.
Of our problems.
So we have this sad scene of her learning that all of her boys are gone, and that they were essentially. We learned at some point in Supernatural season 8. We learned that they were the Men of Letters were killed by a demon named Abaddon, which essentially Dean tells her.
Abaddon.
Yep.
God damn you, Abaddon.
Yep. I just want to highlight the progression of Dean, where I love that Dean invites her to leave instead of just his instinct of season 1 would be kill her now, kill her with fire. All right, so again, Dean being really nice with her, even though he's like, why is this one full of my Scooby-Doo underpants? All right, so then we have a mini flashback to her, basically how she got stuck in the panel, where she was alone waiting for the men's after they got killed by Abaddon, not knowing what happened, and they went to a ceremony in which Abaddon killed them all at the ceremonies, essentially what happened. Anyway, so she went into standby mode, so she would help power the base and everything, and just kind of. Basically, just kind of like it's like a genie going back in the bottle. Well, not of any use right now. So the brothers have no idea. They had no idea. Like, I'm sorry, we didn't find out about this sooner. It's kind of the old writing that we have to address. Like, wait a minute, why haven't we ever addressed this before in the other 14 seasons? Well, we kind of go from apocalypse to apocalypse, which is very true. Every season to a certain point, like 5 on, was like we're dealing with an apocalypse after another one.
I mean, honestly, Dragon, I feel like this is the kind of show that can kind of thrive in an episodic format, so I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly, I get the sense that the episodic episodes of the show are probably better than the storytelling.
No, let me put it this way. Outside of 5 had great payoffs with their whole thing. Let's just say after 5, you're absolutely right. But even 5, up to that point, they had their episodic kind of standouts, which are just like
right. That's kind of what I get the sense. Yeah.
Like a Scooby Natural, which again is like it's a fun adventure.
Sure.
And the comedy, there's like the comedy episodes too. Like again, something akin to this, or akin to like they got zapped into a TV, very WandaVision style. It was hilarious. So anyway, okay. So the point being there, apologize is she gets it. Your work is important. I understand that. And if you're like the other Men of Letters, it's been ages. It's been an age since you've had time for a home cooked meal or holidays or washed your clothes, and it's like the smell gag of it. Yeah, they're probably a little bit ripe. They kind of things go south. They're rushing off to places. We're not really holiday people, which again harkens back to the first Christmas episode of like Sam has holiday issues.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so it's worse than I thought. I just love like she's so wounded. Like this valet is just so wounded. Like, it's worse than I thought. You poor boys. All right, so. Okay, let's see. So we have this fun training wheels protocol moment. Kind of for a Spider-Man example here, we reveal standby mode means the base has been at half efficiency this whole time we've had the base set, which is basically saying, hey, with Mrs. Butters, the base could basically made all those 14 odd seasons go by like that because we have like a monster raid.
Yeah, I kind of got the gag of that, even though I haven't watched said 14 seasons. I kind of got the gag,
or at least as long as they've had the bunker. Man, the point they had like. Anyway, so yeah, it's just this great gag.
I assume the thing with the vampires would otherwise be like a whole episode, right?
Yeah, it would have been exactly.
Right.
It's the idea, like if they had a monster radar like they now have access to in this episode, it would have been like the shows would have been half as long. It would have been a half-hour show.
Sure, yeah.
Or 22 minutes, what have you. So They have the exact location of a nest of vampires. If you hurry, you can be back in time for supper.
Oh God.
So we have this wonderfully absurd idea of, again, a motherly caretaker for our monster hunters. Here's the subtle thread I do like of the episode. It exists in this episode even just based on what we know, is that, the subtle thread of the boys are grieving over the second loss of their mother and being reminded of that by proxy of them welcoming Jack into the fold to save the day. So, it's kind of like, hey, we kind of got a motherly figure back in a sense, which, again, is probably why Dean, deep down, really likes having Mrs. Butters around, I'd like to think.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's just, like, hell yeah. I mean, heck yeah, yeah. All right, so, Sam, let's see. So, Sam's questioning the trustworthiness of Mrs. B. And Dean's like, okay. Dean loves this new status quo of things being easy for a change, and he says, okay, look, fine, we'll check out the lead. If it pans out, she's telling the truth. If not, we deal with it.
Yeah,
as we tend to do. What about Jack? So then we have, again, the big thing with Jack is that Sam, Dean, and Castiel are the father figures to the boy versus his horrible his horrible actual father, which is Lucifer. It's they became the boy's fathers, my three dads, essentially.
I mean, it makes sense.
It's really nice though. Like Dean has like kind of that, the surrogate father moment here, where he's just like, he's through the door telling the angsty teen like, okay, listen, we're heading out. But we have a guest who gives him the heads up about Mrs. B and Mrs. Butters, and she's probably harmless, but just be careful, and if anything happens, call us. Oh, she's making cookies though, snickerdoodles. So. Get on that
Dragon, that brings us to our first project of the evening, Mrs. Butter Snickerdoodles.
Yeah!
Oh boy! Wouldn't you like to just have a nice Christmas cookie under the tree, Dragon?
Why, yes, I would.
All right. Yeah, you can riff on this. Go ahead.
Folks, do you miss the taste of a simpler time? Well, look no further. You want that buttery sensation of just utter joy and heart-melting wonderfulness? Look no further. You found it, wrapped nicely under the Christmas tree. Let's open up that tin. You know what you're going to find? You're going to hear the sound of cookies rustling in the paper of wonderful holiday bliss. In addition to these snickerdoodles, if you order now, we have Mrs. Butters' gingerbread utopian vision of Christmas past, present, and future. Order now while supplies last.
All right.
Mrs. Butters cookies. Forget Mrs. Butter's worth. We know how much Mrs. Butter is worth.
Oh, wow. Nice, nice.
All right, okay. So, getting back on point. All right, so okay, let's see. We have a conversation in Baby. We're taking a ride in Baby, Tiki, the Dean Mobile, if you will. Baby. Okay. Sorry, Baby's like a huge. He loves the car. He loves the Impala, which is named Baby. All right, so we're having a conversation, Baby.
So, Dragon, as far as I know, this whole thing is like blah 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 stuff I don't understand.
Yeah, it's pretty much, we have the son of Satan under our roof. What's the big deal?
Blah, 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 series finale stakes that I'm never going to get to.
Pretty much.
All right.
Anyway, so, and then also, we do have, kind of like a fun little bit there beyond that. The whole, Jack's going to be fine. He's going through stuff. He's got a lot on his shoulders. But, I mean, look at me. I've been through worse. I'm a picture of health. Dean, that ignoring trauma doesn't make you healthy. Sure it does. Just give the boy some space. He'll be fine. Anyway, so then we have Mrs. Butters, who makes Jack a sandwich.
My God. Jack, the boys told me you were having a rough time, so I made you a sandwich.
I'll leave it outside the door if you want it.
Oh, God.
So let's see. So then we have vampires is watching Dark Shadows, which is hilarious, by the way, and they're having this conversation. But why did these vampires get mansions? Essentially, they're kind of like stoner vampires. It's kind of the idea, they're having their blood through like a twisty straw, like a big gulp. Anyway, so this is hilarious. So Sam and Dean, they burst in record time decapitate the
I
vampires.
mean, yeah, it's just like forget it. It's like those extras must have been on set for what, like an hour.
Yeah, yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
here's the
a
thing is always
quick one and done, man.
here's the thing that always drove me nuts about Supernatural when I watched there was like, you mean to tell me like horror movies, like the legit, like the Friday the 13th movies, they had to be re-edited and everything, and so kind of somewhat censored, like so they could be released not NC-17s, like all the decapitations and all the Jason kills. On the regular, we can decapitate vampires and everything. We can cut people's heads off like that. On on the CW, we can get away with that, no problem.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's like there's blood on the blades. It's not spurty, but it's there, and we know what happened. What's the big deal? Anyway, so hey, it's a new record. We got in record time. So they head back to the bunker, and what did they find, Tiki?
They find a winter wonderland.
Oh, it's so great.
It is, Dragon. It's great.
You've heard of
giant tree in the center. I love the train going around the day. I love how humble the train setup is, Dragon. It's not a huge train. It's just like she's just got a coffee table folded out, a little white mat under the Christmas tree.
Yeah, so obviously this episode is not necessarily packed to the rafters with Christmas, but we jam pack all the Christmas into basically two scenes, which is awesome.
I'll take it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's love. We come in here, we hear "Hark the Angel Sings," which is ironic given all the angelic God stuff and love. Hey, again,
And
they
it's
had
also
angels.
ironic given this is one of the few episodes that Castiel.
I know.
In.
That's the thing. It's just really ironic there. Castiel never really got into a Christmas episode, sadly, because it was before they introduced Cass when we did the first one, and here he's gone, which is kind of sad.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so it's like we have like the irony of "Hark the Angel Sings," and we have like just this giant Christmas tree, these great looking Christmas lights, and again, I'm with you. The train is beyond awesome. Mrs. Butters wearing a snowman apron.
Can we just highlight Mrs. Butters' little dance too?
I know, right? The dance, yes. Like little happy dance, like wearing the snowman apron, like this playful, awesome gingerbread cookies.
Uh-huh.
And anyway, so oh god! Of course, in addition to happy Mrs. Butters, I love Happy Dean. Every time I love the little thing Dean does, like the railing, like "Hey, Christmas," and we are so keeping
I
her.
love how Sam's just kind of like taking it in, and Dean's just like, "No, I'm all in on this. Let's do it."
We are so keeping her, and he's doing like little he's so happy.
So Mrs. Butterworth, she's got the Santa apron, by the way, which is fantastic. She's kind of saying that the boys haven't had time to celebrate much of anything, so that's why we're doing Christmas. And oh, don't be such a sourpuss, Samuel. We're doing everything.
Don't be so
we have
down,
so much
Samuel.
lost time to make up for.
Yeah. I love news called her Mrs. Buttersworth because we have that pancake scene. Which it's funny though, because again, serving pancakes, Mrs. Butters.
Christmas and Easter and Thanksgiving, and I make a mean apple cranberry sauce.
Yeah, we got some to highlight our tropes. We listed a whole bunch of them with just the visual, but also hey, like turkey, cranberries.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right, so then so here's the other tropes. Again, this is honestly technically this is Boxing Day, is the day after Christmas, so we have the Christmas gifts. So Dean walks in. Oh, I'm sorry, Dean, it hasn't happened yet. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. So Jack walks in, and we have some tension in the room. She sees
So Mrs.
Jack.
Butters, she kind of instantly senses something's off about Jack. Like, what are you? Then Dean walks in. He's a millennial.
Don't hold that against him. He's a good kid, though. So we should mention what Dean's wearing.
Laughter.
Yeah. So we should mention what Dean's wearing, Tiki.
Oh my God! Yeah, he's wearing just the most awesome looking pair of pajamas.
Now this is a callback to Scooby Natural. He was wearing this in animated form.
Oh, was he really?
That's where it's a direct reference to. It's the same line too. It's a big reference. So he just walks in wearing this. It's a sleeping robe. He says it's called a sleeping robe. A sleeping robe and kind of an old school kind of Scrooge Christmas Carol style nightgown. And it's and Scooby Natural, he has it's like I'm wrapped in hugs, and he says that the same here as he's showing it off. And unfortunately, he's not wearing his Scooby Doo boxers in this moment, so his brother's getting an eyeful. Sorry. Anyway, so he's like, "Thanks, Mrs. B. Is the best gift ever."
Hmm.
Yeah. So again, Mrs. B. She's really she's kind of fixated on Jackie Boy here, which again is gonna come back for sure. So all right, okay. So she makes Jack a smoothie.
Now, Dragon, we would do a product placement for the smoothies, but it would be like doing a product placement for Raid Shadow Legends or something like that. It's just you don't want to plug this, right? It's
Yeah, you
not
don't want
good for you.
you don't want to plug essentially the Kool-Aid that's going to do the job.
Like stay, folks, we highly encourage Mrs. Butter's Snickerdoodles, but and Mrs. Butter's pancakes, I'm sure, are lovely also. But stay away from the smoothies, though.
Yes, stay away from the smooth. Folks, this is not an endorsement. This is a PSA. Kids, when you celebrate the holidays, the last thing you want to do is Yule and smoothie. Don't want to do that. Don't Yule and smoothie. It's like drinking and driving. It's like noggin to excess. Don't do it.
I was gonna say, is the smoothie kind of like a stand-in for eggnog? Can we?
I would say so. It's
eggnog?
it's the lethal version of eggnog. Yes.
All right.
Anyway, so of course Dean wants in on the milk on the. I keep wanting to say milkshake because it looks so milky, but it's a smoothie. So.
What is the difference between a milkshake and a smoothie? I guess besides like a smoothie is made with fruit and a milkshake is made with milk. I guess I just answered my own question.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, so Dean wants in on this because he's always in for like new food and everything. And Dean gets, you could have tomato juice instead. She's worried about Dean's health. So
we play that off as a joke, and I got to admit, at first it totally went past my radar, Dragon.
So before Dean can dig into that tomato juice, Ghostbuster shenanigans begin, where the alarm goes off of the new monster radar they have. We got one!
Uh-huh.
And they rarely ever have done, like they've name dropped Ghostbusters from time to time, but like doing a full-on Ghostbusters parody like they were going to do soon. And just kind of starting it here, they have not done that. That's great. So, we got one, so the boys suit up, and then my favorite bits. They run out, and Mrs. Butters has packed them a bag of lunch.
Yeah.
And if you notice, she's really artfully written the letters of their names on the bags. Like really nice.
Notice that, yeah.
Really nice font and everything.
It's almost kind of like how like the big like the from the SpongeBob procrastination episode. It's kind of like that.
Yes, exactly. Like, you are the best, and then we have like her covering like all the bases. Like, Sam, the blessed knives are in the trunk. You're going to need them, and tell Dean to take it easy on the car. I just waxed it.
All right, so then we're going through the holidays as the ghost busting is happening. We get some Thanksgiving, some Halloween, of course, very appropriate.
Yeah. I'm sorry. We don't have to talk about it. I just want to get in there saying before that we had the whole like them talking like bond. Seemingly Jack and Mrs. B are bonding over smoothies and like washing the dishes, and he tells her about killing the Winchester's mother, which is a big mistake for what's going to happen to him in the episode. Anyways, yes. Then we have and this is set to the montage, which is the MVP sequence of the whole episode. It's the big stands. The main of the reason we're talking about. It's the cleaning up the town song from Ghostbusters. And yeah, so we have like all these great things. We have Thanksgiving, which is turkey with all the trimmings. We got pumpkin carving on Halloween. We got 4th of July. How did you feel with the 4th of July? With like a big feast for the 4th.
Really like the 4th of July one, actually.
Right?
They go all out with the 4th of July.
We had the flags,
like the big
balloons.
centerpiece with the flags.
Yes, I love like the corn, like the basket of like corn on the cob and
totally.
The hot dogs and the burgers and everything. It's just great.
And then it's like throughout the montage they keep grabbing the sandwiches, and like every time they grab the sandwiches, it's like they look more and more delighted about the sandwiches.
Exactly, and they're toasting beers and everything. And it's just the whole sequence is utterly delightful. And again, it's the boys, kind of having fun. They're reaping the benefits. It's like what Mrs. Butters said earlier. Like, you boys should enjoy the world you're fighting for. Which is a really good moral. Like, yeah, enjoy. Like, you guys, you've spent like 15 seasons saving people, yet so rarely and like fleetingly do you kind of like enjoy the world. It's always like moving on from one mess to another, and like Dean making funnies. And outside of Dean making funnies, not really a lot of levity, you know. We
All right,
got to be
really
able to
quick,
do
can you
that.
explain the Thor hammer?
Yes. So the big money shot we have at the end of this thing is you're gonna want this payoff too. So this is great.
Okay.
So we end the "Clean Up the Town" song with Dean blasting a door open with the grenade launcher, which is a thing they introduced the grenade launcher I think in like season 13, and the idea every time he wanted to use the grenade launcher he couldn't. He's dying to use the grenade launcher. He wasn't able to use it till like the finale. So the point being, he hasn't used it since then. He loves using the grenade launcher. It's always a big win for him. Now the hammer, we have that is actually Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, but the Norse mythology Thor's hammer, not the Marvel ones.
Well, yeah, I would assume it's not the MCU Thor dragon. I think I would have heard about a supernatural Thor crossover.
Yes, my point is that you don't have to be worthy to lift it.
Oh, okay, that's good to know.
So I want to say I went back to season 3 where basically there was like this evil auction and Sam basically killed a guy with Thor's hammer, which was awesome.
It's not just an auction; it's an evil auction.
Yeah, it was like an evil auction, like bad guys bidding on supernatural items. So yeah, it was like an evil auction. So Sam got the hammer and he killed the bad guy with it, and it was awesome. And he hasn't I don't think he's used it ever
for all
since.
Your bad guy needs, go to the evil auction.
The evil auction. You gotta add the evil in there, else it just doesn't pop. But no, seriously though, isn't it a cool money shot though? It's like the music pan there, like the brothers are standing there with their iconic weapons that they've used famously, and like
yeah.
Anyways, that's a way to end the montage, and then of course we harken back to a holiday in its own right. Jack's birthday. We're celebrating his birthday. I love the
birthday of it all. And we get another birthday at the end of the episode, so it all comes around.
So something I want to point out, too, just with the montage and the birthday, I love looking back on this now and the irony that Jensen Ackles finally is Batman in the Long Halloween animated movie. And I think it was like at times they kind of pointed out in the show of like, oh God, wouldn't it be great if Jensen Ackles was Batman? And he'd been in the Red Hood animated movie and stuff like that. And it's just the fact of we go through all these holidays kind of like we do the Long Halloween,
Sure, yeah.
Just kind of like a fun, like, oh, it's so cool now. Anyway, but yeah, so we're celebrating Jack's birthday, and Dean wants to put in a request early for his birthday for Rice Krispie treats.
And then Mrs. Butters has a line that it cuts through me like a knife, I gotta tell you.
Like a Ginsu knife.
Oh, Dean, at your age, I wouldn't think you'd want to celebrate your birthday. I'm like, God damn it.
Sometimes
I'm there.
Now look, every time they made a couple jokes at like, oh, because it's been 15 years, they're calling it, yeah, Dean, you're not exactly the young man you used to be at the start of the show, where it's like, he's aged remarkably well. I mean, come on. He's it's only been like looks fresh as a daisy still. I don't get what people are talking, making fun, taking up pot shots at the age. So it's cute though. Like, oh, poor Dean. Anyway, so but again, to his benefit though, like they're by she's like they're by the fridge or something. There's an extra batch in the fridge. Well, really, you're the best. And he goes with such boyish glee. He goes for the Rice Krispie treats. It's a Jack. Okay, so after this, Jack sees Mrs. B looking through some files.
Ooh,
and
sus, dragon, sus, as the kids would say.
This is why you don't get any Rice Krispie treats, Tiki.
I don't want the Rice Krispie treats. Sorry.
Really?
Nah, I'll take them or leave them. I'm kind of trying to lay off sweets in general right now, if I'm being honest.
What about the appreciation donuts?
I mean, I'll always take a donut. That's fine, but
the appreciation donuts, though.
Of course.
Okay. Anyway, yes. So the point being is that Jack here, he finds her file, and inside of her file is a reel of film. So we put on the film, and we see basically one of the head honchos of the Men of Letters, Cuthbert. Now, Cuthbert. Essentially, he operates.
Dragon, we don't have time. I don't care.
I mean,
Dragon, I don't want this to run over an hour. All right, I don't care. I don't care who Cuthbert is. All right.
I don't know anything about Cuthbert. I'm just telling you that's his name.
Okay.
I'm just
I'm
telling you
just
what he
saying
did.
we need to trim out the explanations
I
here,
know.
all
I don't.
right?
I don't know anything about Cuthbert. I'm just telling you what he did here.
Okay, I'm sorry.
All right. It's a waste of time anyway. So the idea is Cuthbert seems to have Operation Paperclipped Mrs. B, and that he basically he rehabilitated the wooden imp to be their valet, and basically they found her during the wartime, so she's basically they trained her to kill Nazis and defend the base.
Yeah, so she's essentially a guard dog, like a very, very
Yeah.
pleasant Mary Poppins-esque guard dog.
Yeah, because wooden imps are protective of family and their home. So if we make her a part of the family and part of the home, she'll be basically a big weapon in our favor.
Uh-huh.
And she kills basically kind of the Hydra equivalent of supernatural, which is a fool, like the occult, like Hitler's obsession with the occult type stuff. Anyway, that's what this Nazi is.
Pretty much does it with a smile on her face, Dragon. She just rips the head clean off.
Yep, which is very scary. Poppins, why?
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Yeah, that's how Rooker would do it. Yeah. All right. Okay. So she's been conditioned to be of service, like kill 200 men and everything before. Okay. So. All right. So Jack looks for Sam to tell him this news, and Mrs. B says, Sam's about to go on a big date with Eileen, who essentially was the girlfriend towards the end, who was deaf and did sign language.
Okay, I really don't care about this.
I know. I know. It's one line though. I just tell her, but Eileen was kind of his girlfriend towards the end. All right.
Okay.
So, Savvy.
He looks very handsome, Dragon.
Yeah, it looks then so Dean's mocking his brother as he's wont to do. She gives him flowers and Sam, have fun. It's all cute. So she excuses Dean by this is a great Scooby Natural callback here of the whole like, oh Dean, I fixed the broken TV in that room. Like the TV in the Dean cave is rushes off like, oh my god,
I did catch that actually, believe it or not.
She fixed the TV from Scooby Natural. Yay! That's good to give him that, man. We should give Dean a fixed TV. All right, so Jack confronts Mrs. B with the truth, and basically she laid this all out as a trap to confront him with the fact of like you're a bad guy, Jack. You're the son of Satan. Those
make you feel.
Feel? What do you mean? Like that got off on or something? Like you enjoyed that man's Nazis are so hardly men, dog's death. I love how she phrases that.
I'm not going to disagree with her on that statement.
No, I love how awesomely she phrased that. That like that like this old woman's giving the Nazis their due. Yeah. Dog's death. So basically the whole like you relish their pain and everything. It's just like you just basically, you're a danger. You did this just to prove that I'm a danger to them and everything. Is you are a danger to them, Jack. And she voices Jack's fear about about what he could turn into his father, essentially. That he's going to hurt Sam and Dean and everything like he did Mary, which is very clear. So so we learned that the Smoothies served an ulterior motive. Tiki, what was that ulterior motive?
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but they pretty much just kind of like incapacitate him, right? Like
weak. Yeah, like they tempered his powers. Like he can't use. Yeah. So she magic cuffs him and basically throws him in the basement. Then we have, oh god, this scene is excellent. Dean's deflatement as he finds out that Mrs. Butters.
It's great. Yeah,
Ackles is so on fire with this scene. It's so perfect. So Mrs. Butters is made.
She has like his favorite sandwich, Dragon. He's Mrs. Butters, you are a dream.
Yep, this is season 5 Bates Motel material right here. This whole thing of like, Norman, you got to do this thing for me, but you can do it
because you'll need all your strength because we're gonna go kill Jack.
I just love the real. What now? Excuse me.
I've got him trapped downstairs, dear. Just holds up a giant ass knife.
Yep, big old dagger.
Just Knuckles, just like
just the hilarious acknowledgement. Of like, oh god, it's like this is all like we had a good run, didn't we?
I will not let what happened to the others happen to you. No, tut.
I just love like he just takes a knife like thank you because I know I'm not gonna let this crazy woman have a knife. Thank you for the knife. And then he just contemplate like, oh, we had a good run, didn't we? And then you had to go full Nurse Ratched, didn't you? I don't know who that is.
That reference.
So then
monster. He killed your mother, for heaven's sake.
I love the contemplation on Dean. He's not legit. He's not really contemplating like turning on Jack. I just love the moment of like it was all so good. He's looking at the sandwich and he's so lamentful.
Sandwich or Jack? Sandwich or Jack?
And I love this. The Dean's never, to my recollection, he's never done this before, and I love this. Where he makes an offer like, okay, listen, well, I'm gonna go down the basement. We free Jack, and we just forget this ever happened.
He wants so badly for that to be the case, Drake. He wants so badly for that to happen.
I know. He's like, come on. Like, the one time I'm not going to kill the supernatural being. Just, come on. Let's do this. Let's just pretend it didn't happen. I'll look the other way, which I've never done. Come on.
Just so, like the serpent in the garden.
Yep, like she's infected you. Dean is now thrown in with Jack, which is not good. Sam returns and he's asking, "Hey, where is everyone?" So, "Oh, Samuel, I have good news and I have bad news." So basically, she spins him this lie of Jack. So, and I love like the incredulous Padalecki delivery here, like, so Jack's taken over Dean's mind, and they're downstairs in the basement for us to kill. Samuel always were the smart one. Yes. So Sam plays this a lot smarter than Dean here. We're like, oh, I'm going to go to my room. I'm going to get my gun, and we'll get to the killing.
Yeah, wonderful. We'll kill him. Sure. Let's do it.
How was your date? so Sam, he gets to he's calling him and like trying to loop him in. Like, God, we know. Like, what do you mean you didn't call me? Well, we figured you were practicing
in a while, bro. I didn't want to interrupt your flow, man.
You were practicing your sign language.
Which, I mean, you know what? I can respect that as a man code. I can respect that.
Yeah. It's actually, Sam's the running gag. Sam, he always has terrible luck with women. Like, every time he's alone, something supernatural happens. And
I can't relate to that at all. Well, I can't relate to the supernatural.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't relate to the supernatural.
I can relate to the terrible luck with women thing.
Yeah, because of vampires?
Right.
All right.
I mean, maybe. You never know.
And demons? Anyway, okay, let's see. So what do I do? Just shoot her? I mean, give it a shot. Like, you were supposed to look into this. Like, no, we were supposed to look into this, and then we had all the holidays and the Thanksgiving and July, and oh my God, the breakfast she made on Boxing Day was so good.
Oh God.
Look, he doesn't want to do it either, but they're gonna have to. So then they kind of happen upon. Oh wait,
what's the dilemma here? It's just like, like clearly, it's like they're not really getting anything out of it beyond just like the superficial like treats. But it's like they still don't want to do it.
Yeah, and again, like I think they've earned that feeling of like, we've been through so much, like, we've been killed and come back to life so many times. Like, come on, give us, we want bagged lunches with our name letters on them, with our initials on them. Come on.
Right.
All right. So point being, they happen upon the solution, which is we hit the standby button again. That's what brought her here. So again, when the son ain't broke, let's give it a shot. So a little bit of pathos here. Jack and Dean very briefly. Jack confronts Dean with, like, you think I'm a monster, don't you? And we have a really great, honest response from Dean, which, again, he's been most affected by things here, where Sam's been quite understanding, is that, you want the truth? I'm trying, Jack. I'm trying, okay? I'm still angry. I was angry. I still am a little bit, but I'm not going to let evil Mary Poppins take us out, so, take you out. So that's what we're working with. Okay. So Mrs. B, she finds out that Sam's trying to pull a double cross, and, oh, Sam, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Oh God!
So this is kind of loving and sadistic all at the same time. So she's trying to save Sam by basically torturing him into submission, essentially like what Cuthbert did to her. And basically, she was brainwashed and conditioned into being the happy helper. Because you're my favorite, I'm going to do this for you. This is a throwback to the first Christmas special, in which she removes fingernails and torturing him, which is kind of like an odd runner in both Christmas episodes.
Oh no! Okay, Dragon, I have a thing with fingernails like you have about chopping off fingers. I can see chopping off fingers, right?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't bother me as much because it's not as tangible. Fingernails, anything involving fingernails, I had a visceral reaction to this.
Yep,
I really did. I could feel the pain.
I just love, I don't enjoy the scene at all, because I too am wigged out anything finger related, honestly, but particularly the removal, but I just love.
It sounds stupid, but the thing that scares me so much about removing a fingernail is like that thing is going to get infected so fucking easily.
Yeah, the only comfort is that doesn't this episode. We're all good here.
All right. Anyways,
but yeah, I mean, I just love that it's like a deep cut callback to the first Christmas episode where we removed the fingernail from the brothers. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. At least one versus like all of them on Sam's case, which is horrific.
Oh God.
At least on one hand, you lose them all on one hand if you notice.
Ooh.
Okay, so Jack and Dean, we have some shenanigans here where they're trying to, they're trying to get out of the cuffs, trying to break the cuffs. And essentially, it throws Jack across the room because there's no break in these cuffs, which is hilarious. And then we eventually use Jack as a battering ram to escape the room as Sam's being tortured. So they escape, and Mrs. Butters having the debate here, saying he's not a kid, he's a monster. Anyway, so as that debate's going on and not really getting it's kind of gathering moss, Jack and Dean, they hit the button and seemingly Mrs. Butters is gone, but we have red lights, which are never a good sign. But again, a seasonal color though. Let's just get that.
Yeah.
All right. So Mrs. Butters still around. I love her coming out of the steam, really ticked off with the green eyes. Again, red and green colors, Christmas.
Indeed.
You've all been very bad. She's like throwing them across the room and everything, and we're going like full misery.
Like the naughty list.
Yes.
Because we have to kind of stretch out our troops somehow. Dragon.
Yeah. Very naughty list meets is like isn't there like a misery tone to it all here?
A little bit, yeah.
All right, so. And then, so basically, we have this does not compute logic that saves the day here. Where Jack's how are you helping protect us by hurting the people we care about? He's family, and he can save the world, which is the mission. Which basically kind of like starts to get to oh wait a minute, that's the mission. Then Sam brings about the fact that Cuthbert brainwashed you. Okay, he used you. She couldn't go back to the Force because I couldn't go back to the Force because of things like that. And again, it was all manipulation on the Cuthbert's part, which is sad. And again, it's the twisted. Well, sorry, we'll get to that. All right, so basically, she stops the attack as she just kind of reconciles, like, oh yeah, I'm in the wrong here. I did bad, and we kind of bring it to a coda here as the fighting stopped. So let's see. So anyway, she's I miss them all so much, and you feel sad as she's basically she has to leave. She's going to go back to the woods, and she with her goes the power of the base. So much for the easy thing we call it that telescope that's been lit green the whole time.
Right.
So the telescope gag basically is a tease up for the finale of like the interdimensional geoscope telescope, which has no bearing on it at all. It's just the fact of like, hey, I looked at that thing, I didn't see anything. Oh, that's not good. Basically saying God is wiping out realities as he's wiped out all the realities but yours right now. That's not good. He's killed all the multiverses, Tiki. All right. Anyway, so the bittersweet note we end with Mrs. Butters that Jack gives her a photo of the Men of Letters, who technically with Cuthbert, I assume he's in that photo, did some bad stuff to her, screwed her up so well. But it's the fact that she still cares about him, she still loves him. It's the wonderful twisted nature of complexities
also
around.
Just like the bittersweet note of like she's going back to the woods, which is kind of like where she belongs in a way. So
yeah. It's just the fact that again, it's kind of like the the complicated family relationships around the holidays. One could say.
Indeed. All right, Dragon. So let's see. I'm sorry. I'm just kind of paranoid about the runtime here.
No. We're at the end, Tiki. So after we have one last bit here. So like Dean, eat your vegetables, and Sam, cut your hair, and Jack, go save the world. And then we have the little birthday bit at the end. Where Dean makes Jack, as Jack can say, basically Dean makes Jack a cake, which I love you humbly says, yeah, I know it's not as good as the ones Mrs. Butters made, but no, it's perfect. Looks good. It's a crappy looking cake. It looks awful. It looks really bad.
I mean, it's a charmingly crappy.
It is. I mean, I like to think it's more icing than cake, which sounds really interesting. But it's sounds
honestly, Dragon. That's that to me sounds better.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a
I'm not
cake
going
with
to complain about more icing.
it's a cake with character, right? It's
Yeah,
a cake
yeah.
with like it's just like Dean made it himself, and he's no Mrs. Butters, and like Jack's had it rough, and Jack's got a lot thrust upon his shoulders, and you know what's a little bit like I got taken out by a wood nymph. How can I take out God? Yeah, you're the only one who can. Jack takes L's. Anyway, so we make him a cake, and make a wish, Jack, and that's where we ended, making a wish.
All right, so final thoughts, then tropes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah, final thoughts. Like, it's not much of a Christmas episode, but what's there is really good. And just as far as being a bottle episode of Supernatural, I will admit it definitely makes me want to kind of it does feel like very good comfort binge watching Dragon. It very much feels that way. I get that vibe, so I can see the appeal.
That is an accurate vibe, Tiki. That's an accurate description of it.
All right.
All right, the final thoughts for me. I really enjoy Supernatural. Some groupings of seasons more than others, very clearly. But you know the special episodes that like the meta ones, the comedies, or like the Scooby Naturals and the holiday ones of the bunch, they really stand out. And they stand out for justifiable reasons because they're so much fun. There's so much to enjoy. Again, this is a series that's not really heavy on the this episode not heavy on the Christmas, but it fits the unconventional Christmas mold of what we do here on Christmas in July so well. It's a hilarious episode about the importance of holidays and not getting too caught up in the action all the time. Like, it's an episode where we decapitate a couple vampires, but it's not a fight episode. It's about the human relationships, which is why I watch Supernatural. I love the brothers' dynamic. I love them having fun along this crazy journey. I like that more than the head chopping.
Right. Okay, so Dragon, let's quickly list out our tropes. We don't have many of them.
No, we don't.
Tree decorating, train around the tree, Christmas under Christmas presents under the Christmas tree. We'll count the shake as like a deadly eggnog, kind of a semblance of a naughty list.
I think Sam's, because he's skeptical, is he technically a Scrooge?
Yeah, fuck it, yeah.
Again, we had like these. Speaking of Scrooge, we have kind of the Christmas Carol nightgown.
Indeed.
Yep. Again,
that's one that doesn't really pop up very often, but I'll take it.
We have some colors of Christmas with the lighting, with the greens and the reds.
Right, green. Indeed.
Mrs. Butter's snowman apron and
Boxing Day.
Yep, Boxing Day and Christmas breakfast. Or post-Christmas breakfast, anyway. And we mentioned the snowman apron and the cookies and a little.
Yep.
Again, just the boyish charm of just like basking in the holidays. I don't know. Again, complex feelings around the holidays. There you go.
Pondering religion.
Yeah. Sure, yeah. I mean, we're gonna fight God. It doesn't get much more religious than that. We have angels, and it's the son of Satan. I mean, sure. Again, the hark the angel sings Christmas song.
Yeah. All right.
There you go. Also, hey, Ghostbusters. Okay, now I know reference the first Ghostbusters, but Ghostbusters 2 set around the holidays.
Wait, Ghostbusters? I didn't.
Yeah. I mean, it's more so New Year's, but yeah, it's set around.
Okay, fair enough.
And in Ghostbusters, the first one we do. Sorry, 2 was no. So it was all 2. All 2 was Christmas and New Year's. Okay. All right, I think we're good. Okay, I think that the Tiki, it just frustrates me. So I mean, I know there weren't many tropes, but it was fun going through them. Right, it was all condensed and all packaged nicely under the tree with all the trimmings and everything. Also, turkey. We had turkey as a trope too, to get that in there. But what Tiki just baffles me that. After all that, after what feels like not 15 seasons, but a little under 15 seasons, one could say maybe a bunker's length of seasons, we got no word for this process. If only we had like something that's not a telescope, but something a little more scientific, a little more occulty, something a little bit more like getting to the heart of the lore of like an 8-season endeavor. If we only had a term for this process of listing these tropes and basking in the offbeat Christmas in July kind of seasonal thing of it all,
Well, what about putting the mistletoe underneath the microscope?
I like it.
Next time on Christmas in July.
La 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 la. We are.
Mrs. Butters, you are the best.
Sam.